Hey guys, Kyle McLaughlin here. I'm in a little bit of a different format today. I'm sitting inside of our conference room in our headquarters, and I wanted to spend a little time talking about our business units today. So I know you guys see me behind the scenes and in front of the camera. You see the different things that we're working on. You see our job sites, you see our modular units, you see our wall panels, you see the engineering, you see all the really cool stuff that we're working on. And you'll probably wonder, what is it exactly that these guys do? It seems like they're in a lot of different spaces. They're in commercial construction, they're in residential construction. They're now doing projects for the Department of Defense and for the US government and for some international governments as well. They do curtain walls, they do infill walls, they do all these different things. So how does this make sense, right? Where's the strategy of the business? And today I wanted to peel back the curtains a little bit and help everybody understand the hierarchy and the business unit tree of Northstar, right? So at the very top, we have Northstar Technologies Group Inc. And that's usually what I market as a full brand, right? That was the company that we founded back in early 2020 that kicked off this entire process that we've had over the last 5 years. So Northstar Technologies Group holds all of our IP. It is our parent company, and it holds our patents, it holds our trade secrets, it holds our research and development. Paul Ingles, who's our CEO, operates Technologies as his incubator for all the new ideas and the innovations that we have across various different industries. So for example, when he came up with our original wall panel for the concept of the ExoShell wall panel, which was really our first product, that happened at the Northstar Technologies level. Because there was so many case uses for the ExoShell wall panel between residential, between commercial, between mission critical, and even making a modular unit out of the ExoShell by using our other product lines like ExoFrame and ExoStructure, we decided to create other business units under Northstar Technologies that would be case and subject matter experts in each individual industry. So I'll give you an example. The first one that I want to talk about, which is really I like to call it the OG, because it's the first one that we created. It's really what kicked this whole thing off. But more importantly, it acts as the nucleus, is Northstar Building Systems. Northstar Building Systems is our manufacturing facility. It is our design, our engineering, and our manufacturing process, right? So within every business unit that we have, all of the business in the ecosystem utilize Northstar Building Systems as the base of their deliverable product. So what do I mean by that? Northstar Building Systems will create, let's just say ExoShell, which is the wall panel. That'll happen right in the back of our facility. The process starts as a sketch, it goes through engineering, then it goes through modeling, then it goes through plant, and it goes into manufacturing, and then obviously it gets shipped from there. So that process is what Northstar Building Systems is responsible for. The case use depends on what market it's going to. If it's commercial, this will be a good segue. We use another business unit, which is called Northstar Commodore. Northstar Commodore is a commercial design build firm that focuses on the commercial, retail, and industrial side of construction. So whether that's a big commercial building, a warehouse, a high-rise that needs curtain walls or infill walls, Northstar Commodore actually covers the construction services aspect of that using the materials and the products that are created by Northstar Building Systems. We use Northstar Commodore strategically for larger scale projects, such as massive housing developments, such as big high rises and commercial buildings, such as large scale data centers that need to be built from the ground up. Because it acts as a design build firm, we can take a customer through this full process of napkin sketch all the way through engineering, manufacturing, site work, vertical construction, and turnover. And that happens within the commercial side of the business. On the residential side, we have Northstar Construction Company, which is also known as Northstar Homes, in which it's a very similar process than Northstar Commodore. It is a design build residential construction firm that specializes either in local or out of state or out of local area construction for residential projects. So that is what you usually see me market when I'm talking about homes, when I'm talking about our job sites that are here locally, and even some of the job sites and projects that we've done outside of our immediate local area and even outside of Florida. So Northstar Construction Company / Northstar Homes handles that process exclusively. Northstar Construction Company is also a full service general contractor. So we can act as a full design build general contractor service, or using Northstar Building Systems, and this is where you start kind of getting how the ecosystem comes together. Using Northstar Building Systems, we can actually be a shell subcontractor for other GCs here locally and throughout the nation. So again, either acting as a full GC, and usually that's business to customer, right? Not so much business to business, where we approach either an individual homeowner, an investor, or anybody that wants to build a home for whatever reason, and they come to us for the full design process all the way to CO and key turnover. And again, if somebody just wants a Northstar shell, for for Northstar Homes, they can use Northstar Building Systems as a shell subcontractor that would handle the engineering and the manufacturing of the shell. It would be delivered on site to the builder, and then that builder can either use our team for installation or they can use their own crew to install our wall panels, our trusses, and our floor assembly. Our newest business unit, Northstar Enterprise and Defense, was a result of the acquisition that we recently announced with Compass Data Centers, in which they sold to Northstar Technologies a company called EdgePoint. EdgePoint was a pioneer in the data center space that specialized in the development and in the market adoption of modular data centers. Now, before Northstar was involved, EdgePoint was making these modular data centers out of traditional materials like steel. Once we began our relationship with Compass and with EdgePoint, we designed, engineered, and built a full FRP, full composite, modular data center solution. The synergy was so great between that business unit leader and Northstar that we decided to move forward with our acquisition and create Northstar Enterprise and Defense. Northstar Enterprise and Defense handles, on the enterprise side, data center construction, whether it's modular or if it's brick and mortar panelized, again, using Northstar Building System products such as ExoShell, ExoFrame, and ExoStructure to create a data center building, to create a mission critical building, to create an enterprise building, or a modular data center that needs to be deployed for an enterprise customer, for a hyperscale customer, or even for a small business that requires on-premise data center solutions. The defense side of Northstar Enterprise and Defense handles all international defense contracting. So if the government of Australia needed us to make modular solutions for SCIFs, which is a security container, they would contract Northstar Enterprise and Defense to do so. In that scenario, we would create the same modulars that I always talk about, but make them to a rating that's usable for any jurisdiction or any individual international government agency. Because the US has strict regulations for businesses that are doing business with international agencies, they like to see that separated. So we created Northstar Federal, which is another one of our business units, to handle only domestic government, mission critical, and military solutions. Northstar Federal is exclusive to the US government, and it operates as a defense contractor for the military and for any critical assets that need to be created for the government. And last but not least, Northstar Realty Group holds a special place in my heart because that is how I came into the Northstar ecosystem. So I've personally known about Northstar since its inception, but I didn't get officially involved until later in 2021 and into 2022 when Northstar Technologies, similar to how they did EdgePoint, they acquired my real estate brokerage that I had at the time, including my team and our full book of business. So Northstar Realty Group operates as a standalone real estate brokerage that handles land acquisition and then the eventual selling and listing of anything that the Northstar ecosystem creates. So for example, if we have a developer or an investor that comes into the Northstar environment and wants us to design a home for them with the purpose of selling it, then they would contract with Northstar Construction Company. Northstar Construction Company would use Northstar Building Systems to create the shell, and then Northstar Construction Company would go all the way to certificate of occupancy for that homeowner or for that investor in this case, and then turn over to Northstar Realty Group, who would then list the property and assist that investor in selling said property. We do this on the residential side and on the commercial side, and more recently with the acquisition of Northstar Enterprise and Defense, we've been doing it on the enterprise side, where we help hyperscalers locate land throughout the US and for it to be acquired through Northstar Realty Group in order to facilitate their design build process using Northstar Commodore, because that's a commercial piece of construction, and Northstar Enterprise and Defense for all the data center design components that go into that. So there you have it. That's the full ecosystem of Northstar. Northstar Technologies at the top is the parent company. Northstar Building Systems that design, engineers, and manufactures advanced composite building systems. Northstar Commodore as our commercial design construction firm. Northstar Construction Company / Northstar Homes, which is our residential design build firm. Northstar Enterprise and Defense handling enterprise data centers and international defense agencies. Northstar Federal handling US only government work and military work as well, and Northstar Realty Group handling all brokerage services from A to Z between buying, selling, and renting. As always, if you're thinking about doing anything of the above that I just mentioned, build better, build Northstar.